Buckle up, you guys, because we need to have a chat. There have been updates in the Morgan Geyser case. Quick little recap as to who Morgan Geyser is. This is Morgan Geyser. Her and her best friend planned to unalive their mutual best friend when they were just 12 years old. And they stabbed her 19 times and left her to be unalived. Friend did end up surviving by some miracle, so she is alive today. So I think that is important to know as we talk about the crime that Morgan Geyser has committed recently. Now, Morgan did plead guilty to the attempted unaliving of her best friend Peyton, but during trial, she was found mentally disabled, to a mental disease. They found her that she shouldn't serve the hard time at 12 years old, even though they did try them as adults, which I still do find interesting. Fast forward to present, she spent about 8 years in a mental institution. She was recently released to a group home where she had a lot of freedom. She met this Chad Mecca in the group home. They are apparent romantic partners. And she escaped her group home November 23rd so that she could escape because as it is alleged that possibly their visitation rights, you'd come and visit her in the group home, were going to be cut off, so she escaped. But I would also like to point out that she does admit to police that she was escaping every single night to go and visit with this Chad Mecca. Escaping from a group home in the state of Wisconsin is considered a felony. So Morgan is now getting charged with a felony. I can tell you now, I cannot pronounce this county that she is in, but she has been in the county jail, and her lawyer just sent in this letter to the county jail like a day or two ago. So let's read this letter because I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments. So it says, Your Honor, Miss Geyser is presently housed in the county jail after her recent arrest. I am writing to respectfully ask that the court enter an order transferring Miss Geyser to the mental health facility. Given that she has no new criminal charges in this county, and given that she has been previously found not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect on the underlying offense, it is our position that she should be housed in a mental health facility, not a correctional institution. Thank you for your consideration of this request. Very truly yours, signed her lawyer. See, I have a few things that really bother me and I want to talk them out. And so I want you to reply to this in the comments. They say Morgan Geyser mental disease, so that should excuse her from this, but she does not seem to have a problem planning out these crimes. When she tried to unalive her best friend, they planned that attack out for a while. They even planned the position that her best friend needs to be in for this attack to take place. So to me, she has the mental capacity to track the whole crime. And again, here we are in the most present day. She is currently 23 years old. So it's been a little over 10 years since the attempted unaliving of her best friend. And here she is again, planning out a crime start to finish. A good reason to commit the crime, anyways, because she has been said on record that she was sneaking out to see Chad Mecca every night, regardless. So why would it matter if their visitation rights were cut off? Also, she was volunteering at the church where they met, and that's how they met, and her volunteering hours weren't getting cut off. So she doesn't really have much reason to escape. I just feel like this is so unfair and so unjust for Peyton, the survivor, her 12-year-old best friend that she attempted to unalive. I just can't even imagine kind of like the horror she had in the hours that Morgan was missing. I just think it's so unfair to her. And obviously, she's just doing crime after crime after crime. There is a pattern. So this has just really bothered me. And I don't know why, but when I read this letter, it just really rubbed me the wrong way. This lawyer really has done so much for her. I think he's an amazing lawyer. And that's just how it is. He was the one, he made a video when she escaped, begging her to come back. And he's kind of like raised her in a way because he's probably seen her the most out of any adult in her life. But I personally think that she should do some hard time in the jail for her felony that she just committed in Wisconsin. And I think that that is fair. I do not think it's fair how she's had such leeway in this group home. And I just think of the poor victim Peyton, she just wants to go ahead and live her life and not be worried of this because we don't know if she's still in danger. We don't really know. She tried to unalive her once. What means she wouldn't like why wouldn't she try to do it again? These are my thoughts. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the bottom as well. And I do have a longer form video on who Morgan Geyser is and the whole case if you'd like to watch that. But thank you for watching and don't forget to follow along for more true crime stories.